Howdy all, welcome to part 66, and we're now moving on. Still in the digital dimension though. It kind of goes without saying that it's tedious, and I think I've already stressed that enough in the last part. But like I say, I'm cutting out all the tedious bits in any case, which is going through the dimension, going up through all the floors and shit. Who farted? Was that you, Algamon? Of course not. That sounds like someone's tummy rumbling. Anyway, the next leader we're going to be teaming up with is Takato. And his very evidently hungry and possibly windy partner, Digimon. So, Takato was the leader of the team in Digimon Tamers. Well, arguably the leader. Much more calmer and level-headed, if I remember rightly, than all the other leaders. At least at the time that I watched the show. Out of the three leaders I was familiar with, Takato was definitely the most level-headed one. The most calm. And if I remember rightly, I'm not entirely sure about the translation, but Takato knows who Taichi is, but he's not letting on the fact that he knows who Taichi is. And Takato is a rather big fan of Taichi. But obviously, you know, not letting it on and shit. Anyway, that has something to do with the clone. Remember on the last part we took on the Magnemon clone, and I did a really shitty job because it took friggin' forever. But yeah, all those times you're going to be seeing Takato having discussions with Digimon, like here. There's like, you know, they're talking about Taichi and the fact that they're aware who he is, but they don't want to reveal how they know him because it could freak him out or whatever fucking reason. I can't remember exactly, but it's like, yeah, Digimon's a really popular thing where we come from, and you're from a TV show, and we really don't want to tell you that because it could freak you out or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong on that. But Takato's a fan of Taichi, and that's really what the that's really all that can be said about that. And Takato really doesn't want to tell Taichi, you know, anything like that regards to the real world and shit. I don't know. I'm stumbling over what I'm saying now. So the next clone we have to fight is the clone of Digimon, who is the evolved form of Digimon, who's Takato's partner. I know your eyes do not deceive you. I swear to God, these bastards are 10 times more defensive than the regular support partner you have working with you. I don't think I don't think Digimon is that defensive. At least as far as your support character goes. But the clone is pretty defensive. Like I say, defense down is so much better than attack down, and you should bring it in. So, you know, don't bother with attack down, go with a defense down. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I tweaked my digichips here. So, yeah. I will say that Digimon is pretty offensive. Much more offensive than Magnemon was in any case, so that could pose a problem. But I don't think he's as defensive as Magnemon was either. He does have counter as an ability, and your support character Digimon has the ability to heal by 2,000 points as well. In fact, all of them do. But yeah, it kind of goes without saying. Digimon is incredibly, you know, he's a lot stronger than Magnemon was, as far as attack power goes. Whereas, like, Magnemon's all about boosting stats. I don't think Gallantmon has anything that boosts any stats. It's just like a straightforward attacker. So, probably not the best support character you could possibly have with you. And it's a shame, really. Because I would have really liked to have, later on, because there's a point later on where after you've gone through all the digital dungeons with all the leaders, where you can choose 2 particular leaders to team up with. And it would have been nice to have teamed up with Digimon and Magnamon, because I grew up on Tamers and 02 as well as the first season. So, yeah, kind of disappointing, but hey ho, what can you do? Yeah, if you don't hear me talking for a time, it could be because I've got background noise that I need to, and that I've edited out and stuff, so it's not that I'm being ignorant or I'm just bored and can't be fucked to talk, it's just that, yeah. I just wish that Digimon on my team would hit harder than, you know, what he does, but I think a lot of that is due to the fact that the clone has pretty good defences. The regular Digimon doesn't have as good defences. In fact, that kind of goes for all of them. You know, all the support characters you have, all the leaders Digimon, the clones are much more defensive. And that counter ability is also going to be rather annoying. I'm not sure if I actually put double action on by this point. Yeah, I did put double action on by this point. Double action, highly recommended for these fights. Otherwise you're just going to be watching the fights a lot of the time. Maybe making the odd attack. You've got to love double action. It enables you a chance to attack per turn, but you can also heal if you need to, or do a defense down, or one of them. Boost stats, whatever the hell you want to do in this fight. So... oh, you cheeky fucker. Think I better heal. Thank God for having that SP item before you go into the digital dimension segments, because it makes them so much more bearable. Okay, just to clarify, I'm not sure if it is digital dimension or digital dungeon, hence why I keep kind of dancing between the two as to which one I'm referring it as. It's essentially the same thing. They're kind of trapped here. So you could argue that yes, it's a dungeon, but it's also a dimension, so fuck it, it's both. I don't think this fight is as drawn out as the fight I had with Magnamon, but it's still pretty drawn out. Like I say, this guy's very defensive. And I really don't like the fact that they're so defensive. They can fucking take their defences and shove that defence up their arse. I wish they weren't so strong. Oh, thank God for that. I'm so grateful that he chose to aim for Digimon that time. And not War Greymon, because that would have probably finished me off. Or at least done a lot of damage. I took the attack boost ability off of War Greymon. It does mean that when he gets attacked, he's not getting any benefit from it, you know. He's not having an attack boost or anything like that, but fuck it. I'll make do. Okay. Yikes. See, an attack down probably wouldn't be such a bad idea against Digimon, because he hits so hard. I don't think he's the hardest hitting of all the Megas. Well, of all the support characters / clones, whatever, that you have working with you, or against you, whatever. I'm slipping up now. As far as all the clones go, I don't think he hits the hardest, but he still hits pretty darn hard. It's just such a pity that Gallantmon doesn't have... Oh, I actually referred to him by his British name. British name. Ugh. His English dub name. It's not his British name, because it's in the US as well. Oh, goody. Yeah, his English dub name is Gallantmon, okay? But anyway, Dukemon, like I say, probably not my favourite support character. Purely because he doesn't, you know, I would have liked it more if he had something that made him slightly more beneficial. See, Magnadramon is a brilliant Digimon to have as a support character because of that stat boosting that he can do. He may not be the most offensive Digimon in the world, but my fucking word, he's still pretty strong. His defenses are reasonable. And, you know, he's very helpful to have around. Mind you, I suppose with Dukemon, you can at least count on the fact that he's constantly going to be dishing out damage. So I suppose there's that. It depends on what you're looking for in a support character. If you're happy to have someone that just dishes out a shit ton of damage and isn't really necessarily boosting stats or anything like that, then I suppose he's a good choice to have, because his defences are pretty darn good. He's not as defensive though, that's the only problem. I know, I recognise I'm kind of repeating myself. I tend to do that when I'm kind of running out of things to say. It's a bad habit, I know. We're nearly there with him anyway, so we'll be saying goodbye to Takato and Guilmon soon. Pity. But like I said, I want to get through these digital dimension segments as quickly as possible, and I'm going to cut out all the boring stuff in between that just serves to do nothing but drag things out and make things extra dull. Right. You know what I think would have been cool? If you'd have been able to control the support characters. That would have been awesome. Imagine being able to control Magnamon and Dukemon and all of them. It would have been so friggin' awesome. Come on, you can't tell me that you wouldn't have enjoyed that. Oh, goodness. Well, at least this fight isn't dragging out as long as the fight with Magnamon was. But then again, that fight dragged out. You know, that was kind of my own fault, that fight dragged out so much. We've got a lot more clones to go. It's a bit pointless getting bored around this point. This is only the second clone out of, what, 6, 7 clones? So, you know, gotta finish this guy off. We're nearly there. I think maybe Dukemon might finish. No, I've got another go. I forgot about double action. Okay. Looks like Dukemon will be the one to finish him. Not a problem. Go for it, Dukemon. Ball's in your court. And that takes care of the Dukemon clone. We won't be hearing from that fucker anymore. So, with that, I love how much experience you gain fighting these fuckers. You get so much of it. Right, so moving on. We beat that clone, and we're going to say farewell to Takato for the time being. So Taichi leaves with Agumon and Hackmon. Hackmon seems to be becoming a permanent fixture, almost. It's a pity you can't, you know, control him or have, you know, use him in a fight. That would be cool. But hey ho. So let's move on. I'm going to save the game. Save after every one of them, because I'm sorry, but digital dimension trawling is tedious as fuck. So we're gonna join up with one more leader before I finish this part up. So we reach this point, and well, we're suspected of being evil, being the troublemaking clones or whatever, and I believe it's Digimon. I'm not 100% familiar with Frontier. Do forgive me. I don't think Frontier aired over here when I was a kid. But he sees that we're not foes and de-digivolves back into a human being. That was Frontier's gimmick. The children themselves could become Digimon. That was a really awesome gimmick. I will say that. Such a pity that Frontier... I don't think Frontier ever aired over here, though. Isn't it such a pity? Because I think I would have really enjoyed it. I would have probably loved Frontier as much as I enjoyed the first 3 seasons. But yeah, the leader of the team in Season 4 of Digimon Frontier, is Takuya. And yes, it's kind of a thing where the leaders, well, almost all the leaders have goggles. And they're talking about football. Yes, I'm calling it football still. Hackmon does not know what football is. And yes, I'm well aware that over there it's called soccer, and that's the terminology they'll be using, but screw it, I'm British. Over here it's called football. So I'll be referring to it as football. I believe that's Emperor Greymon, which is the fully evolved form of, well, Takuya's beast, what the fuck am I saying? Of Takuya's Digimon, but Takuya is the Digimon. What fucking sense does that make? I know, but yeah. Toichi just gets to sit back and watch while Takuya actually gets to participate in the fight himself. I believe the Digimon is Emperor Greymon, because I think the next leader, his Digimon is fully evolved is Shine Greymon. I'll look it up before I do the next part, but I'm pretty darn sure that this is Emperor Greymon. And he's pretty darn strong, I'll give him that. Dishes out quite a fair chunk of damage. Probably about as much as Digimon, maybe more, maybe less. Especially with this attack. This attack's brutal. My word. But anyway, like with all the other clones, Emperor Greymon is... well, Emperor Greymon's clone is much more defensive than the regular Emperor Greymon, who's your support character. Once again, 2000 hit point restore ability is attached to the Digimon supporting you. You know what, maybe I should just refer to him as fucking Takuya, because that's who it is. But I don't care. I'm pretty darn sure that this is Emperor Greymon and that Masaru's evolution, Digimon evolution is Shine Greymon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I will be referring to this guy as Emperor Greymon because I think I'm pretty darn sure that's who it is. Same fucking thing really, these fights, you know, defense down would probably be better than anything else. Healing ability, definitely. Make sure you don't use any SP with that, you know, that SP item that you won from Diaboromon. double action, you know. And though I wish that attack didn't do so fucking much. See, I don't recall ever seeing Magnamon or Dukemon, you know, the support characters, using counter, but I have seen Emperor Greymon use counter, so... See? We know for a fact that Emperor Greymon has counter. But unfortunately, so does the clone. But then again, all the clones have frigging counter. In fact, I think this guy's hitting harder than Dukemon did. Oh, how wonderful. Just what we need. An opponent that hits 10 times harder. You know, it's wonderful. Yeah. Well, look on the bright side. I've only got 2 more parts to go. 2 more parts, and then I've completely finished Digimon Adventure PSP. And that will be the end of that LP after fuck knows how long. You know, going on with it, stopping it, starting it again, all that stuff. I'm nearly done. I can't believe it. Yeah, gonna be utilising healing a lot in this fight because, like I say, Emperor Greymon's actually hitting really hard. Pretty strong attacks though, I'll give him that. I don't think that there's any stat boosting items that Emperor Greymon has. So, you know, probably not. Again, it depends on if you're the type of person who purely goes for, you know, all out offense, or if you're quite happy to have someone that's gonna heal you and stat boost you and stuff. And so far I don't think Emperor Greymon does that. I mean, he has counter, which is great, but counter can, you know, only does like a little bit of damage. I mean, it's something, yes, but nothing spectacular. Still, Emperor Greymon doesn't seem to be as defensive as the other 2 were. Then again, that could just be off the top of my head. It just seems like Emperor Greymon isn't as defensive as what Dukemon was. Definitely not as defensive as what Magnamon was. Off the top of my head, anyway. But, you know, bearing in mind as well that I have better Digichips on War Greymon. Still not fantastic Digichips, but better ones, definitely. Some defense probably would not go amiss, actually. Because, man, this guy's hitting hard. Right. Gonna heal again. I'll probably be ending up doing this, like I say, most turns in this fight. Because, needless to say, Emperor Greymon, he hits hard, okay? Oh, man. This could, like I say, go on for a fair bit. I think we'll be done with this fight relatively soon, actually. I don't think this fight's going to take anywhere near as long as the other 2. Thank God for the fact that this thing isn't as defensive. That would have been tedious as sin otherwise. Of course, it doesn't change the fact that the next part is going to be long as sin, even though the other 3 don't take anywhere near as much to beat them because I have better Digichips. But still. Yeah, I'm just warning you guys now. Part 67 is going to be a long one. I'm looking at about 37 minutes. Just slightly longer than what I normally would have a part at. Nonetheless, Just gotta keep going. Heal whenever you need to, and yeah. Digital Dimension, I can see why you don't get to do it until after you've beaten everything else in the game, because this section, you know, this section of the game is easily the toughest. The Digimon you have to fight, you know, so defensive, and a lot of their attack power is also really good as well, and that's a pain in the rear bum end. Yeah. But we're nearly there. We're getting there. It's just a pity that that sword slash that keeps getting used isn't doing a lot, so I'd be grateful if Emperor Greymon would actually... Yeah, that's the attack I want. It dishes out so much more damage. And it looks brutal to boot. I wish the climb wouldn't do it though, because it actually does hurt. God, I really wish I was controlling these. I really wish that I was controlling these support characters. It would be so awesome. But no, the computer's got to do it. And even though it's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes the computer doesn't know what it's fucking doing. It picks like the weaker attacks, and it's bullshit, I tell you. Right, we're nearly done. I think just one more attack should finish this guy off. And it looks like War Greymon's going to be the one doing it. So, sorry. Emperor Greymon did not finish off his own clone this time. But who the hell cares? We've taken down another clone. That's 3 down. I believe there's 3 or 4 more clones left to go. We'll be taking on 3 in the next part. Purely because it works out better to do it that way. It is going to be a rather lengthy-ish sort of part, though, about 37 minutes long, like I said. So we're saying farewell now to Takuya. Yeah, you two boys can talk football again soon. Piss off. We leave Takuya there, and this part comes to an end. Next time, we'll be meeting the last 3 leaders and taking on 3 more clones. See you then.